In this video, painting eyes in acrylic paint. Hello everyone, welcome to the Ayala Art I Love to Paint channel. This is your artsy friend Martha. If you are art inclined, love art journaling, acrylic painting and mixed media, this is your channel. In this page, I found between the stains and everything that I made with the napkin, I found some eyes already. Can you see them? It looks like they were already made in there on purpose. And this line over here was the mouth. So I just put a little nose over here and some vague line where the hair might be. I want to leave the background like this. The hair probably is going to be black. And the eyes, since it has a lot of glitter already, I want to leave them like that, so I will just finish them. So that gave me the idea of painting more dedicated, like taking more emphasis on the eyes for this time. I'm going to go a little closer for drawing the eyes. I just have like a simple sketch, but in your sketchbook, in your art journal, I want you to see that this surface is very flat, very smooth. So that helps in the beginning when you're making eyes. If you want to make it in a canvas, then you have to soften it with gesso and probably some sanding, some light sanding, so the surface is as smooth as possible, especially in the beginning. Depending on what you like, some people like a lot of texture, but that's a little more complicated when you're just beginning. So let's say that I'm going to be using just a simple pencil. I am going to be going around. I don't need much to make a line, to make the marks where the tip of the eyes will meet. And I am not doing realistic. This is kind of sort of realistic, but more whimsical than not. I don't need the line, but for the sake of explaining this, I would make a line and then another line. If you see, this face is kind of in an angle. The book is like this, so the little face is in an angle. When you make your oval for the face this way, your lines have to follow. Okay? Don't make the eyes like this and the rest of the face like that, unless that you want to make your own Picasso. All right. So I make my line. Typically, the space between the eyes is another eye. That is why I said this is not realistic. It's not my direction or my intention. However, you can keep a distance more or less of one eye in between, unless that you want them in a special distance. That's up to you. For this drawing, where the stains were, is like this. I make my line, I go around the stain. You leave this, not only because the stain is like that, but also because the eye looks better when this part over here covers this other line from here. So this one is tucked in over here, and this one falls on top over here like that. Then you follow the line that you made previously over here, so you end in the end of your line and you begin the other eye exactly on the same angle, and you go make your line. In this case, it was already pretty much ready for me because the stains were like so. Then you go your line over here, tuck in this other one this way, follow to the tip with a little bit of a curve, and then the top of the eye. If you notice, this sphere, this circle over here, is not a full circle. You just go like, well, it's not half, but it's like it's missing the top fourth more or less, and the iris right now is just an indication. I like to finish that at the very end. And over here, same thing. And by the way, in case that you haven't seen the other video, I made a bunch of backgrounds in my sketchbook with a napkin that I used to clean some paint on the jelly plate and just different other little projects. And when it was wet, I decided to come and plaster it in different pages, and it gave me this. It's very simple, and is, to me, is really awesome because you have already a page with something going on to start your story or your project or whatever you want to call it. It's very easy to start from some already there color. Said like Yoda, right? Some color already there. Never you mind. All right. So this is already set like this. We trace a little bit over here. The eyebrows can be, I like them to be kind of like separate, and I like to not put them too close together, but that's a personal preference. If you want them a little longer or kind of like a Frida style, you just continue them all the way to wherever you feel that it should be. For now, I'm going to leave this like kind of like from the middle, towards the middle to the outside. In the nose, although it's not the topic of this video, we're going to just kind of connect it on one side. Since her little face is in this angle, we make the definition of where it's going to end. Then we make the little nostrils over here. I don't want to mark too much on them because I will continue with color, but this should have some more darker color, some more shadows. And then we're going over here on the top of the lip, which I'm defining by the stain, and I'm very happy of how they turn out because they already have the shadow over here. It's not going to be the typical type of mouth that I make, but I think is perfect for this face. Alright, the hair is just a simple line, just based on the stain. It doesn't even have to make sense. Kind of like that. And over here I just made another line like this. The neck, her little chin. I will take this clue from the stains to be the hair. Alright, I think she's going to turn out very pretty. And for the colors, I have, well, white. I will probably just use the white for around the eyes, and maybe I can use these other colors, the porcelain doll and the ballet slipper, for the skin tones to make it very soft. I don't know if you can see, they are like slightly pink and slightly off-white, and black for the hair. As I mentioned, the background is just going to remain like that. If for any reason the lines on top are not exactly the same, don't worry. You can always come back with a different color or go with a pencil at the end, like this type of pencil that I keep talking about, and mark it a little bit, or the charcoal, which is also awesome. You just mark whatever liner on top of her eyes or the eyelashes, and you can even them out better with a different color than trying to leave a really thick layer of paint. If you're using watered down paint or with medium, then you can add several soft layers. But if you have the kind of more pro or more thicker or maybe even drier paint, then you will have texture and kind of like piles of paint, and if it dries, you're going to find yourself with a problem of not being able to add more layers, kind of feather them out if you have a lot of texture. So sometimes it's better to come back with the darker one, the eyelashes color that you might be going to use, and that helps. Now I am going to be painting the hair, and sometimes I prefer to use a very large brush, especially when I'm participating in the 29 Faces challenge. If you're new to the channel or you haven't heard about the 29 Faces challenge, I have been celebrating the fact that in 2012 we had 29 days in February, and I decided to do something fun, and I invited everyone who wanted to just follow along, that liked making faces or wanted to learn making faces. It's a lot of fun. I pretty much dedicate the whole month to making faces. And there's a blog. I will put the link in the information box below, so just find it in there. If you are in Facebook, there's a group. If you like to post privately, the group is private. If you want to put it on the public page, you're welcome to it. There's a bunch of people. Everybody goes just crazy posting faces. It is so beautiful. Every level is welcome. If you don't know a thing about faces, don't feel bad. There's a bunch of people that are just learning, and everyone gives you just a nice welcome, and everybody is so excited doing something that we all love. I am surprised every year. We hold this challenge in September and in February, and it's never too late. If you want to join the very last day of the month, it's fine. People keep still posting through the year because life happens, right? This is one of the faces for one of the days for me, and it is just a lot of fun. What can I say? I love it. Okay, back to the eyes. I'm going to grab my tiny brush, and I am going to take the tiniest of drops of paint, and I have to be careful because the hair is wet and I don't want to end up with stains all over my hands. So if you want to, you can wait. And if you are like me that you cannot wait, then just be careful. I'm just going to go around the center, make the suggestion of the pupil. The glittery blue paint is already there. So her eyebrows, my line, my guide is already gone under the paint. But let's say that we are just going to go from close to the center of the eye, I mean from the inside corners of the eye. If you don't like it because you made a mess or something funny, like right now my paint is too wet, well, we can do two things. One, let it be, or the other one, you come back with some kind of dry paint, I mean dry brush, and get rid of it. Since it is still wet, it will go really well very easy. It depends on how confident you feel about moving the paint. You can use a semi-wet brush, or you can use one totally dry and kind of mop it out. Sometimes it's better if it is a little bit wet, so it kind of cleans it. Test it somewhere else and just practice. So when you're coming up to your face that you're working on, you feel more at ease. And I messed it up again. Maybe she doesn't want eyebrows. And from this other side, I'm going to try to start really thin, although maybe I should use another brush because this one proved to be a little bit too kind of finicky. The eyelashes, we could go with a marker, a micron, anything that makes you feel comfortable. You can kind of practice somewhere else. This one is a little sharper and can go through the paint, make little marks, and if the paint is wet, it ruins the macron and also ruins the paint because it left some weird marks that you probably didn't want. Unless that you're going kind of abstracted or to mixed media-y, then you're fine. And this one is softer and can go kind of like a brush, which also means that it can go really thick and they're really thin depending on the pressure. You can also try with a very thin paintbrush and just go with your acrylic paint and go around the way you want. Any option is fine. I personally recommend to practice somewhere, especially if you are not used to paint yet. Practice one whole page full of eyes and eyebrows and eyelashes. It's always fun to practice a lot. For now, what I'm going to be doing, I think, is going with the Pitt pen. And I'm just going to go gently. If you have not subscribed to this channel, subscribe because you don't want to miss the next one. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them under the video. I love reading your comments. The highlight of the eye is going to be more of the white paint that we were using. Since I like the glitter so much, I'm not going to do anything else on the eyes. However, most of the time, I go and grab some random color that has nothing to do with whatever I had been using and have a little bit of a shape like around the color for like a contrast and depth and highlight. Click a like if you like it and remember to keep your paintbrush wet.